Before we get this video started, guys, I just want to say, at the time of editing this video, it is the darkest weekend in F1's history. So before we get the video started, I want to take a minute to remember both Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna, who tragically lost their lives at that weekend in 1994 in Imola. So let's just take a moment to remember them, and then let's get on with the episode. Lights have gone out and wheel spin. Oh, we swerved across the track and I think we tapped someone there. So that's clear. Sounding amazing, obviously. Brake really early up behind Brooke Tavish. Still following him around and hoping to make one and lock up there under a slipstream. Gonna have to take the exit road. But the tyres are dirty from the exit road. And I've binned it. It wouldn't be an A1 Grand Prix with gaming now if I didn't bin it at least one point in the race, would it? As they're pulling in the pits as well, they run out of fuel the very next lap. That was Matt Tavish there. Matt Tavish is retired on the last lap. Hine takes the win, and we've got a second from nowhere. Hello everybody and welcome to Germany for round 5 of our A1 Grand Prix season. Mid-season now. We are 5 races into the season after this race has completed, and that can only mean one thing. It means that Kranjux has an insane advantage. He is massively far ahead in the tables, as you saw from his performances in every race of the season so far. We kind of minimised up to him in the run up to Germany through Karlskoga, but unfortunately he ran out of fuel, and that helped us massively. So we're going to try build on that. Halfway through the season, it means we have to get everything pitch perfect at this point. We can't just simply afford to start messing things up like fuel strategy. Binning it every race really doesn't help either, to be honest, and our start, if I didn't already mention that, is also something that's going to need a bit of work. So I put in a lot of laps in practice, even though I know the track, just to try get those things cleared out, but obviously it's not always that easy. But we're looking for our setup here. I originally thought a high downforce setup was going to be a good idea, and then I thought of the straight, and I thought no, because the runs I can get into the hairpin with low downforce compared to the AI will massively help me. You know, it would really give us a good chance into dive bombing that hairpin. So I went with that. We've increased or decreased the steering lock a little bit just to get a bit more turning in the car, which will help me throughout, as well as you're going to notice in a minute, as I think it's about time for me to go driving. We are using a different view this weekend. We are using the helmet cam view to help us. Well, I just fancied trying something new, to be honest. The old view was okay, but I tried this in practice and I thought this is really cool. I'm going to use this because it shows you, the viewers, on the steering wheel what's more happening as we set a lap time good enough for P2 and then hit an auto spin curve, it feels like, and as you see on the replay we get shot over. So as you watch that, like I was saying with the view, you will get a feel for what's going on in the car, because you'll see me correcting the steering a lot more, and the G-force is a lot more simulated on the braking and stuff, which is really quite cool. And I just wanted to change, and I tried it and I liked it. So let me know if you guys like the helmet cam view in the comments, because I will probably be using that till the rest of the season. But if it's like for some reason making you guys like really nauseous or something, I don't understand why, but you know, you never know these things. I will go back to the old one, but for now we are staying with the helmet cam view, as I kind of feel it gives me a better experience than you, the viewers, a better experience as well. So let's head out into qualifying. Enough of my chitter chatter, and let's get on with the weekend. Here we are, qualifying final corner of our first flying lap run then. Dip a wheel in the grass, but we still managed to go P1, which is really helpful with a 1:17.5. I improved on the next lap immediately after, and I was like, I thought this was going to be a really good lap, but I just overshoot my braking board and go clean off the track, and I had to scrap that lap. But ultimately, we still got the pole position time in the end. So, getting ready for the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim is yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So let's watch the grid lineup. So we approach the back of the grid now. We can see who's where. We got a good lineup today. We got a good string of cars to compete against. So now we got to get this right if we're going to take the fight to Kranjuk's, the Polish driver, and that's the first part of this weekend, is the start. And I got no wheel spin, but I didn't get a launch, so it hasn't been as crippling as it usually is, but it has actually hurt us quite a bit in compared to the Swedish driver of Lindgren for Team Hockenheim, who is leading the Hockenheim Grand Prix at this point, and I get very violent on the brakes there. I forgot to tell you guys, I have massively over-fueled for this race, so I won't need to put any fuel in the pit stop. So for the first couple of laps, it's going to be really painful to drive this car. Of course, we're going to have to start braking at 150 marker boards instead of 100 marker boards like you see I did there. As Lindgren has a tiny little lock-up in front of us. It doesn't seem to have hurt him too badly. Got to continue to chase towards him and try to get a position 1 back. And we've got and again, heavy fuel means a heavy car, and therefore making a few mistakes on lap 1 that I wouldn't usually make if I had a low fuel run for the start of the race. But like I said, we've got to try something different. What we're doing at the moment isn't working in the fight to the championship. So we're going to try something new, and that was a no fuel stop. So hopefully that goes well for us in this race. We caught up to Lindgren quite a fair bit in that lap, to be perfectly honest. Coming through turn 1 now. All over the back of him by about 2 seconds, and our best opportunity this lap is going to be this straight. So if we can hook this up, which we seem to have done very nicely, we've gained on him through the second part of that corner, and now we're in his slipstream. Remember, we've got a low downforce setup here as well, closing in closer, and eventually we're going to pull out and try out brake him, and we muscle him out the way quite violently, but we made the move fair and square, I feel, as you're going to see a replay of it here. An amazing sound. And yep, you're going to see we get right in the slipstream. Not much he could do to defend. He could have gone defensive, but ultimately I feel I could have got him around the outside as well. So he goes a little bit defensive, but we pretty much elbow our way into the hairpin there and carry on our way. So here we are, towards the end of lap 2, after making that move. We pulled about a second on him, but he's closing up now again, as you can see. And now we've got to try, keep cool. But taps the outside, and it's very slippery out there, a lot more slippery than I was expecting it to be. And we got to let everybody through again, and that's not good fun. As I think one more car is going to try go down our inside after that mistake. Nope. We managed to hold everyone off. We spend the next 2 laps, as you'd imagine, recovering. And look at this. Look how slippery this outside is. We just glide off the circuit. If you watch the replay here, look, we just no grip whatsoever. It's like being in the absolute pouring rain on dry tyres. That really did take me by surprise. And we've gone from P6 to now P10, now P11. And we're trying to get all the crap off our tyres that we picked up from around the outside. And now we're just going to keep on going. I do apologise for the house phone, guys. I know that's really unprofessional, but I really don't feel like doing this commentary twice over. So we're going to carry on with the phone now disappearing. Thank God for that. Right, Lap 10, spent a lot of laps recovering. Someone has pitted, but it's gone from P11 to P10, and now to P8 as 2 more people have seemed to have pitted. And now we're going to make preparations for our own pit stop with no fuel, remember. And now we're right up behind Jernberg, I do believe. And we're going to try pull off the same move we did to Lindgren on lap 2, but I think we are just a little bit too back to be able to do anything. So we just got to try close up as much as we can in the braking zone, and then gain a few temps on him in order to keep going. So we have done exactly that, and now we've got to just keep with it effectively. And trying to look around the outside as we brake a lot later than him, and we get such a better launch out of this corner compared to him. We're gone. We've got that move done in a place, you know, no one really makes moves, which is really surprising and quite fun. Cut it to the end of our pit stop. As you saw Lindgren, that was the leader who we came in behind. So that's quite interesting. Lap 13 in position 13. Going to try and make it for position 12 though into turn 2, which turned out this weekend to be quite a good overtaking spot for myself, which really helped. Knowing I had that in my pocket as well. We get on to lap 13 still. We catch up to them towards the end of the lap. Looking for a way past Lennart's. There isn't many. Lindgren trying to work his way through the cars that haven't pitted as of yet, obviously. Looking for the best opportunity. It's really difficult to think of one other than turn 2 or turn 3, the hairpin, or turn 4 if the hairpin's that, because turn 2 is technically 2 corners. But to get that done, we've got to get a good run off turn 1. We have done that. Now we've got Hog all his slipstream down in the road. Pray he's not in anyone else's slipstream. And we come from quite a long way back and do a classic, good old dive bomb. And that gives us position. Further down the straight, we've caught them up and we make contact with Lindgren a little bit. He was very slow. And we were very fast, so that was bound to happen. Same spot we got. Was it Jernberg earlier? I can't remember. I think it was. We've done the same move again. Nevertheless, no matter who it was, you see in front of us now. That's you, Schlott. That's actually our teammate. No constructors titles, obviously, in A1 Grand Prix. So we're focusing purely on the Drivers' Championships. Kind of a multi-21-esque feel here, as we get past him, like no problem at all. That did feel very multi-21, but I can assure you it wasn't. He was actually pitting that lap, and therefore that's why we got past him so easily. We spent a lot of the race recovering till lap 16, in fact. And we're up with Roldan, and we're hoping to dispatch him. And as you see, on the replay, change the camera angles up a bit. We're going to get in his slipstream, do what we did to Lindgren, and we're going to force it down his inside into the hairpin. And that should be job done, and we should be able to carry on our merry little way towards P2. But he's in our slipstream. We go wide. He's now going to try throw it right around the outside. He's locked up. We're maintaining the inside line. Can we keep him? He has gone around the outside of us, and now we're all over the back of him. We're going to try and get him into this spot where you'd never overtake, and we can't overtake because there is not enough room. We would have collided and took each other out massively and ended both of our races there and then. So we're going to try and maintain our position and wait for the next best opportunity, which unfortunately isn't really until turn 2. So we skip to turn 2. We're going to try and dive bomb him, and he's tried to cut back on us on the outside. Look, on the right hand side, he's there still. He's trying to put up a fight again, but we have managed to maintain our position, and we've got P3, and now we're trotting on our way to P2. And that was an awesome battle. Thank you, Roland, for that battle. That was simply brilliant. Now all over the back of Hardcastle, as you can see, that the blue and orange car actually on for a 2 and 3 position before I came along, and that was the last lap. That's why this move was so aggressive. This was on the last lap, and I needed as many points as I could get. So unfortunately, I denied them their 2-3, and they have a 3-4 instead. Kranjux, our championship rival, not what we wanted to hear, has won the race, but we have come home second, and then we got to start getting things better than this, guys. We've got to really get our head down, and unless something happens to Kranjux, but he is looking absolutely solid at the moment. Here are the results then. Kranjux obviously taking the win from me, then Hardcastle and Roldan, 3rd and 4th, the teammates. Lindgren, Lennart's 5 and 6, Delgado and Bohm at 7 and 8. So that proved to be quite an interesting weekend for the top 10 runners. Myself coming back from like P16. I can't remember how far I went down, but I did go down like a lot. So that's really quite a good comeback, but it wasn't good enough in order to catch Kranjuk. So ultimately we made a loss this weekend, even though we had one of the most fun races of our season. That battle with Roldan was absolutely fantastic. Better than battles I've had with humans at times, you know. It just, the AI on this game just not giving up, and it was really, really cool to see that. So we take the silver second place trophy here at Hockenheim, and we need to get things right for the European Grand Prix, which is the next round in Germany. Here are the point standings for when we go in the Nürburgring. I said Hockenheim before, I apologise, but I did mean Nürburgring. That's the European Grand Prix. And yes, thank you ever so much for watching, and goodbye.